Hey, thanks for tuning in. I mean that. Why doesn't anybody take me seriously? Hey, would you keep it down? I'm trying to record a podcast here. Gosh. Anyway, so this week I had the pleasure of sitting down with local comedian Andrew Wambolt, and just like Pete Holmes, he made it weird. No, seriously, Andrew's super funny when he's not on stage. And in this episode, we talk about some of our worst gigs. We sexualize male Ottawa comics. And we dive a little deeper into the history of the Flapjack TEN scandal and its impact on the Ottawa comedy scene. So, yeah, check it out. All right, and we're back to another episode of Happy Hour with Sad Comedians. I'm here at the Royal Oak in Center Point, joined today by Andrew Wambolt.
I'm sad.
You're sad. I'm happy you're here.
Thank you.
Cheers. Man. Yeah, so how have you been?
Good. I've been exercising a lot.
You look good.
Thank you. Do I?
Yeah. Your hair's growing, at least.
I'm okay. That's all. I've done a few Zoom comedy shows. How have you been?
Yeah, the new funny. On Zoom, on Facebook. Check it out. That's actually, I gotta say, it's one of the better ones I've seen.
Which one did you see?
Well, I mean, like, I've seen other comedy shows online and everything, and yours, at least, you get the feedback from the people laughing, and like some of them is just basically the person speaking and no laughter, no response at all.
You're used to that, though.
Yeah.
I'm here to hurt you.
Yay! Oh, off to a great start. All right. No, but yeah, you have a podcast too. 1 hour mentor.
Yeah, it's funny that
I'm French. I don't know.
It's funny you bring them up. I think you said it right both times.
All right, cool.
But I'm not doing either of them anymore. Like, there's no Zoom comedy show. There's no.
Really?
They're done.
You're done. You finished with Trevor Thompson?
He's a big headliner.
Yeah, I know, right?
No, that one was fun. I think the interest level of people watching has severely died down as like stage 2 happened.
Right.
And it's just stressful. And I found like it was hard to get Trevor off the line at one point. Like, I just have no natural out. So like,
maybe when his phone died and he went to his bed, you could have been like, okay, let's cut it here.
But instead he was like, no, I'll be right back. I'm just going to charge it. I'm like, man, I have pierogies downstairs just waiting for me. And I realized like I don't know too many other professional Ottawa comedians, and I was like, well,
you've done the round.
I've done the round, and I'm this is the exclusive. I'm starting one of basically the same thing, but not live with like headliners from outside of Ottawa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Exclusive. You heard it here first. Come on. When's that starting?
I'm doing my first interview this Sunday with Brandon Ash Mohammed.
Nice.
You'll catch it. I think I'm gonna wait to release them till like my first set back into comedy, because it's just another comedy podcast. I'm gonna wait.
Yeah, I mean, by the time this airs, I don't know if it's whatever. I'm stockpiling these and releasing them in the future.
You're never gonna release these.
No, this is all for my personal collection. It's going in the vault.
I know of this one out.
Based on how this is going, this is never gonna air.
Why does everybody say that to me? There's this one Ottawa comedian I knew way back when he started a podcast, and he had this girl on it like 2 or 3 times, and the episodes were never released, but he tried to kiss her every time. Which in retrospect, she was confessing to me.
Oh, God, yeah. Actually, I have a confession to make. I did one with Janelle last week, and so I just bought this nice little Tascam audio recorder. Hopefully it works this time, because with Janelle and Nick Perron that I did earlier, I had my laptop, and in this heat, my laptop just like fried basically. So I got home and I thought everything was okay, and I checked the audio and the video was all like scrambled, and it's like, oh fuck, I felt so bad because we had like an hour and a half conversation and I can't even use it.
Like at all? Like the Janelle one is just gone?
Pretty much. I got like 12 minutes that is workable. Maybe 20.
I could pull off being Janelle for a little.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You want to go down that route?
You seen my twin sister?
Yeah.
See? Didn't go black or indigenous. I went twin sister.
Hey, yeah. Hey, yeah, let's talk about your little sister. No, did you see the roast last night with Jeffrey?
Yeah, there were a couple doozies. I was really happy I was listening with headphones.
Yeah, there was one. I don't know if you found that one funny, but the one about Andrew is very progressive as someone who's dating his sister.
Yeah, I did like that one, actually.
Yeah.
And it was a weird. I went to say it out loud because I live with my dad and my sister, and I was like, they probably won't think it's as funny. This is just weird to say that I think is funny, even.
Yeah.
I miss Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Not George.
No. They're good guys. They're good. I think that was their last one too. So I think everybody's a bit zoomed out and a little bit of
Yeah.
yeah. I'm thinking of doing getting pop-up stand-up going back in the streets because I was doing you performed at my pop-up stand-up at the corner of Somerset and Bank.
That was the time of my life. It wasn't, but what was cool was seeing like Kia basically seduce a woman on the street, like just so
anything can happen in one of those things.
Anything can happen. It was so fun. I actually think I had a set earlier in the night. Like I think I had a set at Bureaucracy and I bombed, and I think. Like, I felt really good doing your pop-up show.
Oh, yeah, no, you killed. Yeah. You had some people being like, hey, yeah, that was good. With the Macaulay Culkin stuff and everything. So, yeah, it was good. And I just feel like I want to do stuff live now. So I want to do a little bit of that. I did email the city to see if we can actually do it. And I've been told that I probably cannot if we get more than 10 people in the audience. But, hey, it's never happened before, so...
So what would that mean? Like, 11 people show up and they just...
Bylaw just... busts the thing and gives me a fine because there's this comedian in Toronto that did a stand up in the park.
Yeah,
and it was for a good cause for Black Lives Matter and everything, and then he got fined $2,000 for like a bunch of infractions, like having a loudspeaker in a park, having more than whatever 50 people congregate together.
They wanted to make a thing out of him. Yeah, but I also hear that like he's a shitty guy.
Is he? I don't know.
Spread that around. Tell everyone you know that guy bad.
Andrew, All Lives Matter Wambolt is here with me today.
No. You can't make that joke. It just sounds like that's what this is.
Yeah.
You and I.
Yeah,
They don't matter. I mean, all lives don't matter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, only.
All right.
No, so I mean, you've been pretty active in the community too. You had to laugh. Yeah. Have you been tested?
I fuck around.
Not just COVID, just tested in general.
I've been tested once. Have you?
STIs or COVID?
Yeah, STVs.
I think they're called STIs because disease is not appropriate for all infections, sexually transmitted infections.
Let me break it down for you, okay, sir? I went to a sexual health camp, musical theater sexual health camp.
All right.
Granted, it was like 2009. At the time, they said it was STVs.
STVs?
Viruses.
Oh, but they're not all viruses, though.
Oh, I never did any research. I was just trying to get my volunteer hours.
So you have been tested, and you're...
I was tested once. I was really scared at the time. Yeah, I don't know. I've only gotten tested because I was terrified for my life.
Right.
But it's all good.
It was all good?
Although since then, I don't know.
It's like that Donald Trump when he said, I tested very positively on the COVID.
Did he say that?
Yeah, he's like, yeah, my testing was very positive, very good, very positive. It's like, negatively positive, I mean, yeah. It's like,
that's so stupid. Yeah, right? Do people know that? Like, he's not super smart?
He did a test, according to him, that he aced, and it's like a cognitive test, apparently, and he's very smart, according to himself.
He made a lot of money.
Yeah.
I think anybody that can make money is smart.
I don't know.
How much money do you make annually?
I don't know, doing comedy, I think I did $62 last year.
Okay, I didn't specify. I mean, in general, I want to know how you living.
I'm living comfortably. I did do, the 50 out of the 62 was a corporate gig for a Christmas show, and that, you know how that goes. Have you ever done corporate gigs? When they just, nobody really expects any comedian to show up, and then there's like a Christmas office party and you have to go up and tell jokes.
I had the worst experience ever. Let me tell you, actually. You know Laura McLean?
Yeah.
We worked at the cafeteria at Algonquin together, and they do like an annual Christmas party, and that was the first time they had two comedians working there, so they were like, you guys want to do stand-up at the party? Or no, they just asked Laura because they liked her, but then Laura was like, I'll do it if Andrew can go first.
Right.
And you remember how good I am at comedy. I was even worse then. And just worse and like really filthy and just having no real sense of this is my workplace and it's that ain't it. So it was all the terrible things of a corporate gig, but no money. Like I didn't get paid or anything. It was just like you can do it if you want. I got heckled by like a coworker, like a mad heckle. Like she was like, that's offensive. And after,
like people you have to work with after the show.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
and
awesome.
Laura said I only invited Andrew because I knew he would do terribly and it would be funny to me. And she was so right. Algonquin.
I did that, so we were just talking about my government job.
How much does that pay, by the way?
Pays, you can actually check it online how much I make.
What's your position?
I'm an economist. So it was a talent show for a fundraiser. So again, I didn't get paid, but we're raising money for a fundraiser. And this really funny comedian went, like there was multiple days of this, whatever, and this comedian went the first day and just, I thought he did great, but the audience were just like shit. He was in the cafeteria again, just people eating their lunch, whatever.
Who was the comedian?
I don't think you would know him. He's fuck, I forget his name actually right now. Yeah, it's the first time I'd ever seen him do comedy.
Sounds funny.
Yeah. No, I thought his jokes was great, well written, and everything, but just nothing really worked. And so I got really pissed, and I just said like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna do like my worst jokes, basically, just like try to get
your
some
typical
reactions."
6.
Yeah, it's my typical 6, basically. And it was. I got some emails afterwards saying some people asking me like, "Oh, did you get in trouble for that, or did HR contact you, or like it was that bad?" Yeah.
Because you had like a job, like you have something to lose.
Yeah.
Did you?
No, it was fine. Nobody. My name came up a couple times in meetings, and people thought like, "Oh, his Justin Trudeau impression was pretty funny with the brown face thing." Like I brought that kind of stuff at a government place. Justin Trudeau's my boss, basically, and I'm making fun about him, brown face, and all that, and people were like, "Oh."
I think when comedians think about like what might seem edgy to audiences, they're like overthinking it, because in reality, it's like a joke. I don't think people audience members aren't always that stupid or sensitive as what like we'll be afraid of sometimes.
That's
I will.
True. Yeah, it's true. But you're pretty woke comedian.
No. I don't know.
No.
Did you know?
You're like if Nancy Drew went to no. I'm fucking up here.
I like wherever that was going.
Yes.
Sounded like it was gonna hurt.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know who Nancy Drew is, but
I was gonna say Drew. I messed up. I was gonna say Drew Carey went to.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's double hurtful that you messed up my own joke
Yes.
and called me.
Nancy Drew was like this old book, like detective kind of stories back in the day. You're a little too young for that.
Murdoch Mysteries, I get it.
Yeah, exactly.
No, let me tell you about being woke, though. Do you know Jamie Villeneuve?
Yeah.
Ottawa legend.
Yeah. He's in Toronto now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, but do you know of the story of him basically getting banned from the Wellington Eatery? Like he instigated the whole thing, right?
I don't know the whole thing.
You don't need.
We can talk about it if you want.
I don't remember the whole thing. I don't think I'd get it right or anything. Anyways, he said like he deserved to get banned. Like he was antagonizing the crowd, let's say. But what's so funny is my set was right before him, and I had a joke that if you just read it on paper, it's just a racist statement, and it didn't go well. Like there were notable jeers, but Jamie just fucked the whole situation up beyond. Like nobody thought about what I said again.
Right. So he might have saved you, actually.
I don't think I'm very woke as a comedian.
No.
Somebody called me gross, actually.
Okay. Well.
Are you woke?
No, but I'm working on it.
But what do you even mean when you say woke?
I don't know. Like I remember. I actually just remember you, and because this is a podcast, we can say it. But trigger words, like for example, you don't say rape on stage because that has a trigger for some people.
I said that?
Yeah.
Damn.
And I thought that was pretty woke.
I'm woke.
Yeah.
You're mean? I don't say rape on stage. I had this one joke that I did in my first year or two where it was, I'd say like, I'd step outside and smell the air and say, it feels a little gangbangy out tonight. I'm going to stay in. And that was, in retrospect, it's not a joke. It's
what
not
does that even mean?
I don't know. I thought a gangbang and gang rape were the same thing. Like I didn't know a gangbang could be consensual.
Oh.
I meant for it to imply I'm afraid of getting raped by multiple men.
Was this around the time that there's a lot of gang rapes that were happening in India, and it felt like it was hot?
No joke I have ever had has ever had a point. Like there was no subtext. It was just me. Gangbang's a funny word.
Yeah, it rhymes
There's
too.
a wasp on you. Oh, it's a.
Is it a wasp?
No, it's not a wasp. It's like a.
What is it? Is it a murder hornet?
No, I think they killed themselves actually. They just wanted a bit of love, and they were like, "Hey, we're here." And they're like, "Not now." I'm drunk.
Hey, it's very hot today.
Yeah.
Beer's getting warmer already. Yeah, let's get in the thick of it.
Talk to me.
So basically, this podcast is to talk about sad comedians. Why is there so much mental health issues in the comedian scene or community? Do you think there's a correlation? Do you think comedians have more mental health issues than non-comedians, or is it just because we like to talk about it on stage?
That's kind of what I think, actually. I think theoretically, without doing too many surveys or anything to find out.
I didn't do any research for this at all.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I don't even know your last name out there.
I was actually thinking, I don't know what exactly to call you. Like, looking at your name online, I was like, do I call him JF?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You go JF.
For Anglophones, yes. Because they always fuck up my name. And that's actually when I showed you, I don't know if you saw the very first clip.
I did.
Of you introducing me at Eddie's.
How did I say it? Because I screamed it.
You also I put it into the subtitles as like Jean-Francois and just like kind of butchered it.
Yeah.
And you said it fine. But I'd rather people call me JF than butcher my full name.
I see. I think the same thing about me.
Yeah.
Call me JF, don't call me.
Yeah.
No, I think comedians are just they just talk about it more. But I don't think they're more sad. I don't think more comedians are sad than, say, accountants or like any other job. Say comedians are a job in this scenario.
Yeah.
But I think everybody's as sad. I don't think it's that thing. I think like maybe we put ourselves out there more, so we'll get. But like I don't even think like if we have a bad set, we feel bad for the night. That's not us dealing with mental health. Or I take it back a little, but it's not the same thing as you're a depressed guy.
Right. Just because you had you bombed and you feel shitty
you
about
did a
yourself.
scary thing and did bad at it.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things too, is like, you know, oftentimes you have anxiety about things that are going to happen and they just never happen, right? They're just, you overthink things, but having anxiety about bombing on stage is there's a very likely, likelihood that it's actually going to happen and it's going to be as bad as you imagine it to be, you know?
Bombing is always worse than I imagine, actually.
Right.
But the consequences, I think, when I have this one night at Swizzle's particularly in my mind where it was a full house, good, like they booked a really good lineup, and I think even at the time I felt like I was good, but I was like, I'm for sure the worst one here by a lot.
Yeah.
And then it just seemed like it on stage too. Like I had a terrible set, and I was just like, I don't think anybody's gonna put me on a show again. Like that's when it really sucks, is when you start to think just bullshit like that.
Yeah. I bombed so many times in front of potential hiring producers that, you know, I think, you know, they're like, nah, I'm not going to put him on my set. But yeah, Swizzles for me has always been a hard room for some reason.
Well, they're talking about,
and
like,
I
woke.
think it's
That's
just, well, yeah, maybe.
I think it might be in your head that they're woke or something like that. I think some people have that.
Or I think maybe it's just that association that you go in there without confidence, and then it shows on stage that you're not confident, and then it's like this self-fulfilling prophecy.
Why do you go into Swizzles without confidence?
Because I've always done bad there, so I always like associate it with I was like, oh shit, this is not gonna go well, and I go up and it didn't go well. Well, I knew it because
Yeah, that's me with Pub 101. Pub 101's had like 7 different people run a show there over the last 8 years I've been doing comedy, and I don't think I've ever had one good set.
I have recently when Rami and Joel.
I take it back. I killed that show.
But that's a different room. I feel like it's a completely different vibe.
I would say I like some of the comedians more that have run it, but nobody's done a better job than them with Pub 101. They've done it way better than anybody has. They actually made that. I haven't thought about those guys in a while. I miss them, thinking about them.
Yeah. No, they're great guys.
Rami, let's talk about how attractive Rami is for a second.
Like Ray Romano, what's his joke or something?
Something I think Romano and Sandberg. And the Sandberg really, when he referred to himself as like a Sandberg lookalike, I really saw it, and I have a real boner for Sandberg, like visually.
Yeah.
And he's so hot. Let me take control of this podcast for a second. Who do you think top 3 hottest male amateur comedians are in Ottawa?
Top 3 male comedians in Ottawa.
Hottest, not
hottest. Yeah, just physically.
Yeah, I'm not talking about quality of comedy.
Just physically. I think. Well, is Matt Carter a professional or pro-am?
No, he's pro. And
okay. Because like his name came up recently in a conversation of how hot he is and all that on 4 comedians.
Michaela's podcast.
Yeah.
That's what made me think like they were talking about like hot man comedians, and I was just like, same girls, same. But not Matt Carter. I think it's an easy answer.
Okay.
Dig deep.
Dig deeper.
Yeah.
Actually, Joel Jacobs is pretty hot. Like I feel like he picks up a lot.
That doesn't mean he's hot.
He's got like that confidence. Like, have you ever seen his videos where he goes up to different random girls at Oshiaga and things like that?
No.
And he just randomly starts making out with them, and they're all into it. Like, just, yeah, it's like this vox pop type of thing where he goes around with a microphone, interviews people, and then sometimes they're like, hey, can I kiss you? And then they start making out. Like, he's smooth. He's a smooth operator.
Yeah, I could see him being smooth. I just have very vivid memories of the last. I think the last show I did with him was at the Heart and Crown show. I think he and the Fellas run, or some variation of the Fellas.
Yeah.
But he was like, his set was just so explicit that even though I have a relatively explicit set, I could just say anything and then be like, at least I'm not like that fucking creep. It was work.
Yeah. Well, like, he does have that vibe. He's like, I look like a guy who lives in a van, because he actually did live in a van.
Yeah.
And all that, so yeah.
That's interesting.
Speaking of STIs, yeah, definitely.
I think that's it. I could see him being attractive, but I also think he fucks. And okay, I don't want to say I think he has an STI, but Joel, if you're watching,
get tested for COVID and STIs while you're at it.
For sure.
Get the swab down in
I've been
urethra.
telling
you
this
didn't
to-
have that one, did you?
The
STI in the swab in the urethra?
No, I've recently had. Well,
that was before
hold on.
your time.
Sorry, we'll get to prostate exams, but I do want to finish this list of 3 hot comedians.
Okay.
So you got.
You're next.
Okay. If you're starting with
Joel Jacob,
I present to you Tash Naved.
Yeah. Tash
He's
is
since during pandemic went full bald, cut his hair off. Terrible look. I told him. I felt like we went on a FaceTime call, and I feel like you need to warn somebody if you just got a buzz cut.
Right.
But aside from that, I think he's really cute. I like his. I think I like his style and clothing. It's always just like a sweater and jeans and a hat, but it's a good guy. And he and I have been started comedy in the same day almost.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I am usually in the joke jams with him on Wednesdays, so I have seen him on Zoom recently. He's a great writer. I love his writing.
It's really cool to think of, because I think Tash is firstly one of the few people that have been doing comedy here as long as I have, that are still here, but also not in a mean way. Like, I think he's been as bad as I've been for a long time, and he's also it's just cool to see him getting better. Like,
yeah.
He makes me feel less alone, because some people it's a marathon, not a sprint, and I think he's getting really, really funny.
Yeah.
Now you go.
My next one?
Yeah.
I have to, this is going to be a shameless plug for my temporary acquaintances with Rory Gardner. I think Rory's an attractive man for his age.
You don't even need to say for his age. That's almost rude. I
bust his balls for that.
Shit. He doesn't need anybody else busting his balls. They're getting nice and busted. No, I think that's a very fair answer. Do you, I actually hate being seen. Like, he's so hot. I forgot about Rory. He's so hot. I hate being walking around with him. Like, you know what I mean? I'm
in videos every week with him. How do you think that makes me feel?
I don't think you're bad looking, actually, now that. And I think you're doing yourself. I think you're premeditated. You're like, I'm gonna do this thing with Rory, who, his looks will bring you up, because you're not bad looking. So if you're beside each other, people start to associate Rory, JF, hot.
I'm the ugly one.
Yes.
I'm the fat.
You're the fat, ugly piece of shit there.
The wingman has to bring home.
No, but I mean, it's more similar than that.
Or
it's
man,
like
whatever.
If Mac hung out with Dennis from Always, I can't think of 2 hot men. But I think Rory's a great answer. Underrated.
I'm of the age, I think, where Brad Pitt in Fight Club was always the epitome of the most attractive male.
I've never seen it.
Whoa, really?
/ I don't see the attractiveness in Brad Pitt.
Wow, really?
But
it's my generation, I think.
But you're saying that's a similar Rory vibe?
No, it's just for us. It's I'm old enough that it was no man my age would be allowed to say another man is attractive.
I see.
He was like, oh, that's gay. But everybody would agree, every man would agree that Fight Club, Brad Pitt, you'd be like, okay, well, yeah.
That's so fun. Everybody's vaguely a little homophobic until it comes to Brad Pitt fighting.
Yeah. He was peak physique. He was younger and all that, and he was the epitome of male, whatever. Yeah.
Back to men I'd fuck.
David Haddad.
No,
not men you fuck. Fuck, yeah, guys you would.
Men I would, not that I have fucked. I get it. Yes.
Right.
David Haddad. Quick fuck.
He's an attractive guy though.
It's not for me. I'm thinking, honestly, and I don't actually like this because I think he can be a real cocky prick. But Abdullah Usman.
Yeah, for sure.
especially as he's gotten funnier. Like it's one thing to be hot and a certain level of bad on stage, which everybody starts out as, but since he got good so quickly, he's just hot and young.
Hey. Available? No, I don't know. I'm not in a situation.
No, I set him up with his girlfriend.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, and then we stopped being friends, actually, the girl.
I hope you do get a call and get to do a speech at his wedding, if he does have one.
I can't imagine. It was pretty intense end of a friendship, I thought.
Oh, okay.
It's I find most of my friendships, they just end like people stop texting, but it was like, oh, we're done. Like this is...
Oh, you actually had a breakup.
Yeah,
a friendship breakup.
A friendship breakup. And I feel like... I'm okay with it. I actually just feel very, I feel good that, because I would feel bad that the friendship broke up, but I'm like, I just got you a boyfriend for, I don't know, it's been, I think, a good amount of time that they've been dating.
Oh.
So I've done God's work there.
If you're watching.
Please don't.
Probably not.
Yeah, please don't watch this. I feel bad that I just mentioned any of that.
Basically, yeah, and nobody's going to watch this. Just don't say anything that you wouldn't want my mom to see. She's the only one who's going to be watching this, so.
Oh, okay. Now I'm going to think a bit more. Right. Who's the next male comedian you'd like to fuck?
In Ottawa or in general?
No, let's go third Ottawa. We'll cap it at 3.
Fuck.
Who'd you say? You said...
I said
Joel, Rory.
Rory. Man, I have a type. I feel like I definitely have a type.
I don't see those two together at all. I think Rory looks more like you. He looks very clean cut. Rory could get your moms to swoon, more or less.
Right.
Whereas you bring Joel home, she's going to like hide her wallet.
Yeah. Oh, he's definitely gonna try to fuck my mom too. Like
that's the thing. He just seems horny.
Yeah.
No disrespect. I don't think it's disrespectful to call somebody horny.
No, I think it's a compliment.
I don't think I've been talking into the mic this entire time.
Oh shit. All right. Well,
we'll see later. All right. This is better.
Yeah, this is not gonna air anyways.
Yeah.
Fuck. Who? Third one. Name me some names, and I can't even think of any right now.
I think that'll be a deep look into my psyche if I just start naming men that I think.
Like I'm thinking Spence Charles right now.
Bottom of the barrel, baby. Let's go. Aaron Hill, Lewis Hill.
Oh yeah, Aaron.
Adam Adjecatcher.
What about Spence Charles? He has a thing.
What's the thing?
He has a mullet.
Yeah.
If you're into that.
You know what I don't like about Spence Charles's physique, which I've thought about, is that I think anybody that thinks he's hot should just also think I'm hot. Like, I think we look too similar, where if you're like, Spence is hot, I'm like, I'm right here.
You'd be offended by that?
I'm blonde. I think we both have bad teeth, actually. But I'm a bit skinnier. I think I'm a bit taller.
You're a skinnier Spence Charles.
I'm Spence Charles just 2 years before. I think Spence gets mad that I angry face a lot of his... I actually had this thing... back in the day, I got banned from Absolute Comedy, and it was right around the term...
Oh, the Flapjack 7?
Yeah.
Oh, I do want to talk about that.
I'm down, but I was around the time, like, reactions came up on Facebook, like you could angry react.
Right.
And I just would do it to every single comment, no matter what. But especially then, there were a lot of comments that were, like, just veiled, like, jabs at me and my crew that got banned. So I'd always angry... And I literally lost friends from angry facing things.
Just from
people think
emoticon.
You're mad, and I'm like, this is the internet, man. Nothing's real.
Yeah.
Just a full piece of shit.
You're just a troll.
That was the most troll I've ever been. But I just thought it became really funny how like people would react.
The real answer, yeah, sure, Aaron Hill, because he's done some nude modeling. He is feel like he's got a good body. He probably has the closest to a Brad Pitt Fight Club body, I think, actually. Like that's tall, skinny, kind of like lean.
Have you seen him topless?
No.
Damn, me neither.
But some old women have, while they were sketching him nude.
Oh, I thought you were just gonna say like that's his type. Like, what's up, Miss Fournette? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is that her last name?
No, she never took my dad's last name. Actually, they are married, but she was a feminist.
Not anymore. I don't think it's. I respect your mom's opinion.
There was
choice.
different times, like people didn't.
Oh,
usually.
It's like more of a, because I don't feel like it would be too much of a statement now, but you think like it was more of a statement.
Yeah, back in like the 70s or
You're
whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
I have a friend that told me if his son turns out gay, he's going to send him back to Africa. Like he's African.
Is this Kevin Hart?
Yeah, I'm friends with. Although I think it's a little fuck you. I say African, you just think Kevin Hart.
Because he's
but also the
tweeted
thing-
about that. Yeah, he got like banned from the Oscars or whatever because of that
I
old
think they
tweet.
took him back, and he just said no. I want to think of a third hot guy. You don't have like a gay bone in your body. I'm feeling it. Like you're really forcing these answers. Any man that says Joel Jacob number 1, no disrespect to Joel. Oh my God! You know what? I forgot. Fabio
Ricci.
I've actually sent Fabio a message recently, apologizing for sexualizing him too much. But I actually
Another friendship lost right here.
I'm just
Another
ruining
scoop.
all my mild acquaintance / friendships in Ottawa comedy. But I'm ruining them by calling them hot, so it's whatever. But I think I've always over sexualized people. The more I think about it, you know that game Would You Rather?
Right.
I lost friends by always trying to play it in high school. I think it's so fun. That's why I'm pissed.
How many friends have you lost in the last?
Dude, I'm really great at making friends. But it's like I think I
Keeping
lose
friends. That's another thing.
That's a whole different thing, man.
Yeah.
Like they want to hang out and stuff. Like it's fun initially, but
Yeah.
I forgot what I was gonna say.
I think that's 3 for you. Fabio was your last one.
Yeah. Fabio, Abdullah, and Tash. You want to talk about type?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's sexualization and fetishization, is it? A little bit?
Yeah. Definitely. I think they're all. I actually don't know what kind of shape Tash is in, but I think they're all in kind of a good shape. But they're.
And the fact that I picked all white guys, that's problematic too, actually. Even more so, probably.
If you had to pick a not white person,
Well, Fabio for sure, yeah. I just didn't think of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think I FaceTimed him a little bit, and he had some stubble, and I don't know if I saw him with stubble before. Holy fuck,
That did it for you.
dude, he is.
You got some, you got a little bit of COVID beard going on.
No.
Like I'm 10 years older than you, and this is the most I can get. Yeah,
I can get a good amount of facial. It is always a little patchy, but it's more.
Are you like redhead?
I have. My dad's was a ginger when he was a kid. He grew out of it, and I'm growing into the red. I have a
What
sister
is your
that's a full
background
ginger.
for real?
40% German, 40% Scottish, 20%. I don't know. We were gonna make jokes. You said for real. I was like, I'm gonna give a real answer. One time in my life, I don't try to
I
make a.
just try to be vulnerable, and I just fucking
How vulnerable am I?
Yeah.
I'm part Scottish. My
We're the
mama,
oppressed.
a little Dutch. No, lots. I only I like the German genes. I think Germany's the funniest. It's the funniest accent. And what's the thing they say on Pete Holmes' podcast when they come up with when they refer to somebody that say Me Too'd somebody, but they go controversy noted. They'll just refer to Louis C.K. quick and be like controversy. So Germany's really funny, but I'm aware of what they've done.
Yeah. I love Germany.
And that was the funniest.
I was in Germany for 2 weeks once, and I learned a little bit of German.
Yeah.
And I was there with some guy friends. Do you know any German at all?
You mean boyfriends?
Yeah, a couple of good
Come
boyfriends.
on, wake up.
Yeah.
I actually know some German, although I've tried it on a German person, and they said that's not German. But
Well, so I would learn these phrases that don't really make sense in German, but I would teach them to my friends to ask other people. And one of them was like, "Wo ist die Fräulein Toiletten bitte?" And that means, where is the little girl's washroom? So you go around go to a restaurant, be like, "Excuse, Entschuldigung, wo ist die Fräulein Toiletten bitte?" And they would look at you like, "Why the fuck?" No German person would ask specifically for the little girl's washroom.
yeah, it's very creepy.
Yeah, very creepy. So we got kicked out of there.
Yeah, that's not woke.
No. So they deported me to France after that.
Oh, they're into little girls' washrooms.
Yeah.
Am I right, France?
Co-ed washrooms, everybody's allowed.
Is that real?
Some of them, yeah.
I think all washrooms should be co-ed, and I'm a political comic now. I just think they should all have. They should lower the doors.
Yeah.
What do you think about the whole washroom argument?
Well, I mean, if it's just single washrooms, of course, yeah. But if you're going to the mall, if I had a little girl, would I want a little girl to, go in a stall next to somebody taking a giant shit, like a guy just because I've been in men's washrooms and it's not the most pleasant place. I don't know why anybody would want to get in there.
That's a good point, actually. There's not. It's just like, welcome to the real world. Just a man shitting in his Gap bag. This is what being an adult is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But of course, yeah. Whatever,
Maybe
whatever
a kid's
you
washroom
choose.
too. That grown-ups can go into. No, there's no good answer.
No,
I forget. There was an episode. Did you watch Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
Yeah.
They had an episode. I forget how it ended, but I thought it was like kind of good. It was like shit monsters or pee idiots or something. Like it was something stupid.
I don't remember that one. Is it the
Okay.
later
I don't think it
episodes,
was
the later
wrong.
seasons?
Yeah.
I probably stopped watching after, I don't know what season, but yeah. It was a great
Okay.
show. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. Thanks for bringing it up.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think we're doing great, guys.
It's going okay.
This episode's sponsored by Lysol.
It's actually sponsored by Newfoundland. For those looking for, I'm just going to use this as plug time.
Sure.
My father makes rings out of coins.
Speaking of microphone, if you want to.
My father makes rings out of coins. You can supply the coin. You can tell me the kind of coin, the kind of ring you want. He painted this. It's chipping. He's since got better at painting. Newfoundland. The more you know.
Wow.
So, paid advertisement.
What's the coupon code? What's the promo code?
69 420 911.
Never forget that one.
No, you'll never.
I feel like I want to transition to something.
We talked about mental health for a sec.
For a sec, I guess we did.
You were just like, Andrew, do you want to talk about comedy and mental health? I said, no, let's rate the attractiveness of male comics. What about female comics? Feels like
I feel like we
cringier,
shouldn't.
yeah?
I feel like we shouldn't do that. But how have you been staying mentally fit?
Mentally fit.
Do you go on bike rides? You're a biker.
I get a lot out of cardio in general. I like
Running?
I like running. I've peaked at roughly 12K, and I've been doing that maybe like 2 times a week.
12K is a good distance, man.
Yeah,
That's
it's
really
good.
Yeah.
I always thought like I could be incredibly fit if I just changed the way I ate even a little bit. But,
Eating is 80% at
but
least.
exercising
80,
is fun.
90%.
I've actually gotten obsessively into like working on my basketball skills. Like I'm learning how to spin a ball on my finger. I'm working my rebounding because I play weekly with some of the fellas.
With the Globetrotters?
I wish.
How often do you spin the ball on your finger in the game?
Well, I haven't yet because I've just started this past week, so I have to talk to my girlfriend on the phone every night. We date long distance, so I talk to her on the phone for about an hour every night, and when I do, I've just started working on practicing. Because when I get back to the real world, when we play basketball every week, I wanna be a beast on these boards. So to stay mentally fit, I've recently come up with a checklist of things to do. I need to write 8 one-liners a day. I'm trying to do like a career change, so I do something to feel like I've made progress there.
Did I see you at Preston Hardware?
Yeah, that was like a wet dream. No, I didn't mean wet. I mean like a. I mean, it felt like it almost didn't happen. The whole experience.
I know, because I was there, and then you asked me like, oh, what do you want? Oh, do you have half pints?
Half pint?
Yeah, maybe I'll grab a cream or IPA. Yeah. Go
I'll have the same thing.
A half pint?
Yes, please. That cream or sorry.
Awesome. We'll edit it out. It doesn't matter, actually. Who cares?
Keep that in.
Yeah, I'll keep it in.
Hey, let me tell you. Well, let's get to Preston Hardware in a second.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about this show. I ran a comedy show here about 5 years ago.
Really?
For about 4 months. It was a monthly. First 3 shows, sellout success. Literally, we had Mike McDonald on, raised money for raised $2,000 for. I don't know. It was a charity. Like I was working with the PR program at Algonquin, and then. This, I believe, is the assistant manager here. She was the lady I was in contact with. She missed all the shows, and then she came to the 4th one, which I think it was like November. I don't know. It was long story short. Long story, just a bit less long, really. My bad. But it was. We had about 4 audience members. Nobody bought anything because it was just college friends of mine. Yeah, I know. I had some friends come, but nobody was going to buy anything.
Yeah.
I had a good pal of mine, Daniel Raya, kind of slam a chair a few times, like on stage as a bit, damaged the chair quite. Anyways, I got a pretty aggressive email saying like, there needs to be changes to this show. And I was just like, I'm not doing the show again.
So you just canceled after 4 shows?
I'm not even sure if I told her. So she sent this aggressive email, and then I ghosted her, and I don't know if she knows it's me. So,
Wow, we'll have a confrontation here. This is actually
this is punked.
Yeah, it's part of the show. Actually, something you said reminded me of something I want to talk about later. But let's get back to Preston Hardware.
Yes.
If you want to talk about it, it's funny because I saw you and you're like, "What are you doing here?" And I said, "I'm looking for some sheet metal. What are you doing here? Same thing or something?" But
Yeah.
were you actually asking to talk to the manager?
I had a job interview.
There you go.
Yeah, I had a job
yes.
interview.
So when I said like same thing as you, it was like no, not at all.
I was like, that's so funny because in every other circumstance in life, you can't be wrong saying
Yeah, I know, right?
Like, yeah, I'm trying
I'm
to
in
change my
hardware, so-
life, JF.
What are you here for?
I actually feel pretty bad about that. Like, I didn't hear back, which I don't care. I don't belong in a hardware store for a second.
Hey, I worked in a hardware store in high school.
I walked in, felt lost, but I thought I killed the interview because I had no interest in the job. Hold on.
That's how you kill an interview, for sure. Thank you.
Thank you. Cool.
Here, sir. So you didn't get that one, but
I didn't get that job, and I'm just pissed because I killed that
a
interview.
spot's a spot, man. You know.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm charming, and I think I've had more. My interviews, the amount of job interviews I've had, I think they've got to be in the high 20s. Like, I've had a shocking amount of interviews when I think about it, and I'm not getting better at them.
It's a little bit like comedy.
What?
What?
No, that's the thing. After 7 years, I started to get a bit better. That's what I mean. You just need to. How long? I'm going to turn this around immediately.
This is a pep talks.
Oh no, I got insecure talking about job interview. You know, I literally had a job interview to work for just for laughs.
Wow.
And it was the most intimidating thing because it's just for laughs, and it was three people I was interviewing with at the same time, which already gets me a little out. And I was a bit younger. I think I was like 22. But it was a position I could do. It was like assistant programmer, which was more or less administrative stuff.
Yeah, but still, that'd be dope.
Yeah, and it was contracts. It was like just living in Montreal for like 9 months, and I was like, this would be a perfect way. Like, I'm about to graduate, go to Montreal,
meet some people in the circuit.
I tried so hard to be funny, like a fucking, and it's literally the woman that books the Canadian. At least, like, I don't know if she actually books all the just for less, but it's like the gal in charge with two others, and I remember like I'd get one gal laughing, and I felt like I wasn't the first idiot trying to be funny because I'd do it, I'd get her laughing, and then somebody else is just, like, they were just firing. They wouldn't let me. I never had a chance.
Well, yeah, I mean, you did win funnier off stage.
Funniest.
Pretty sure it's funnier off stage.
That is funny. That's a good roast.
Right? That's not bad.
That's the funniest thing you've ever said.
Hey.
I'll cheers to that.
Cheers.
No, listen, have you been to the Roast Awards? Were you at the...
I was at that one. I wasn't invited, but I just showed up anyways.
Nobody's invited. That's the criminal thing about it is because for most comedians, we don't need to...
It was my first year, so I didn't really
That's
know
what I'm getting
a lot
at is we don't need to give backstory to what the O-Craps are, right? Like,
yeah, whatever.
It's just, you'll tell your mom later.
Sure.
But I just think it sucks because most comedians, the only award they'll be eligible to win for a while is just like least worst newcomer, but you don't even know it's a thing till like 2 or 3 years in sometimes. That's all.
Yeah.
That was my holy thought. What did you think of the award show?
I thought it was great.
Did you vote?
Not the first one because I literally just heard about it and I just showed up. And
did you not know people? Like, had we met by then?
I had been doing it for maybe a year, not even a year. I was just starting to figure out whatever stuff. And I had bombed so many times, I think people didn't want to be associated with me for a while.
I don't think that's a real thing.
Oh, no, it came up a few times.
People saying, you're bad, I don't want to be your friend?
No, just because I did a spot at Absolute on Monday. And I was going on, and I did really well. Finally, I had a really good set, and Lorenzo was next. And then Lorenzo, before, didn't talk to me at all. Mm-hmm. After the show, he comes back, and he says, hey, man, I remember you from that time you bombed so hard. I was actually worried about going after you. And then after that, he's like, but you actually did really well and all that. And then we started talking all that. But like, there are a few people that if they only remember me from that one really bad spot, that stuck with them, and I've heard that story a few times actually.
Like, have you felt people treat you like? Because I know when people talk to me and they think I'm a bad comedian, like you can sense it in their fucking face, like the disrespect. Do you feel that? Like, do you know, like, when people are talking to you, they're just like, oh, I think this.
Oh yeah, that's how you're talking to me right now, I think.
Listen, little guy. I'm sorry I touched you, actually. It's a pandemic.
Yeah, I know. Lysol wipes.
Yes, please.
Sponsored.
I was actually for my fingers. I'm clean. It's just you're French Canadian, right?
Well, I just
use this. Yeah, this is bullshit.
With that very spot that you touched me anyways.
Very dumb. Anyways,
Oh, God.
no, but I hate, and actually you're probably right. I'm probably shitty to comedians I think aren't funny. No, I'm not. I take it back. I think I am upfront.
You're constructive.
I'm trying to think honestly. I don't know. I think, you know what it is? It's hard to, when you see somebody bomb, it's hard to get that image out of your head, but I don't think it's hard to just like talk to them like they're a regular person.
Right.
Like, what's the worst case scenario is you don't take their word on what they think is funny if you really didn't like them.
Yeah.
But I've actually been talking with Haddad about this a lot, how there's really no, like, you could think somebody is unfunny, like, you know, the idea that a comedian's either got it or they don't got it, and you see them and you think that guy doesn't got it. I really don't think that, and that's what we've been think like people should just get better.
Yeah, some people think, oh, you're just born funny or you're not, basically, but you can actually work towards it. And
Yeah, and I think I was born funny. I think I was born funny, and it just hasn't translated to stage the way it could. That's why one funny is off stage.
Right.
But I think so. One way is there's people that are. It almost seems like condescending to say naturally funny, but like Christina Muehlberger, right? It's like what Matt Carter told me. It's like she oozes comedy from her pores, which you kind of get. Like people that they go on stage, like Ben Hoggle.
Oh yeah. God, Ben
like
is-
anything they say, almost like they could almost read the dictionary.
Yeah.
But then there are people that just, if you have a work ethic and you don't like hang yourself after a bad set, like you just get better, and I've seen it happen all the time.
Well, it's like Anthony Jeselnik said, he wasn't necessarily funnier than his peers at the time, but he just said, I'm just gonna outwork everybody. Like he would just outright everybody. He would write fucking, you know, you're saying like 8 one-liners a day, like he would write 100 one-liners a day and just pick the top 2 or 3. So basically, like maybe 20 he might get one funny joke out of 20, but just because he's by volume, he's actually going to get some better jokes, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. I find, so I'm on day 8 of doing 8 jokes a day, and it's just like there's 2 or 3 where I'm like, this might be funny one day.
Yeah.
But it's so much cooler than like not doing it. Who would have thought just writing comedy could make you a bit better?
I know, right? Mike Tomafi is actually a good inspiration for, like, you know, if you actually listen to his advice, like he's pretty good at giving that advice about like writing, rewriting, going for a walk, letting your subconscious sort of like fill in the blanks, tightening up, removing words, and he's very mechanical about it. His writing, I think.
He kind of did you listen to Ryan Mullins? I brought this up to you already. I already plugged Ryan Mullins' podcast.
Yeah. Odd Spots, I think it's one?
Yeah, Odd Spots. His episode with Mike Tomafi was really cool because I think I walk around not actively not liking Mike, but when I think of Mike, I think, nope, no thanks. But then listening to it, I think it did really, not that he's concerned about how people think of him, but when I listened to it, I was just like, I like Mike a bit more now because I find he's, like it's 50-50 what you're going to get when you talk to him.
Oh, yeah.
And that 50 that's bad, I could kill him. But I thought it was great. I like Mike.
That's the verdict here. 2 thumbs up for Mike. Is that for us? No, but
I wish. If somebody else paying, I'll take those nachos, baby.
I'll pay for your beer.
Sorry?
I'll pay for your beer. So
Both of them?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
That's my treat.
I wish I didn't get a half pint. You know what I'm talking about?
Hey.
Miss Fournette. Hey, what are you paying this guy? It's not Miss Fournette. Now I'm realizing I'm just talking to like your father's mother or something.
Yeah, and my wife didn't take my last name either. So
No hyphen?
No. My kids have the hyphen though.
Good.
Yeah.
I'd like that.
You'd like the hyphen?
Yeah. Actually, my girlfriend's last name is Al Jabouri, like Al-Jabouri.
Oh.
And I.
Do you want to like double hyphen that?
I always daydream about Wambolt El Jabouri, but she's. I think this is actually kind of funny. Where I had a dream the other night. First time this ever happened to me. I had a dream. I held like my newborn son. I remember holding him, and then the thought that I had was I could break this kid's back like so quickly, so easily. Yeah. Like it would take nothing. And then the other thing.
That's normal as a new father.
Is it?
Normal.
Like I imagine you think of mortality immediately, and
Yeah.
I thought of.
I could just take a pillow and nothing. Yeah,
Like
anyway.
I'm so powerful. Jesus. But then the other thing I had in my dream was like the kid pooped, and I just held him like this, and then ran, and I screamed. I don't remember the name I actually screamed, so I don't know if it was like my girlfriend or anything. But I just screamed, "Ah, you need to change it." But then I woke up and I texted my girlfriend. I was like, "Hey, I just had a dream. I held my newborn son, and she texted me saying, "I'm sweating."
She didn't text you, "I'm pregnant."
I'm sorry?
She didn't text you back, "I'm pregnant."
Oh, we don't have sex.
Because long distance, true.
No, because we are waiting till marriage.
Oh.
Emily's mom, dad. It'd be her mom, Bernadette. Would never touch that woman. She's beautiful.
So when you're talking about Daniel Horea, I want to talk about the Flapjack 7.
Hey, when did I mention it? I'm sure I did. How long ago was that?
I've been saving this.
I want to talk more about comedy. I wish we could start now. Let's talk for an hour about comedy now.
Yeah, but this is about the Flapjack 7.
Okay.
So I've been wanting to do a documentary about the Flapjack 7 and going to interview the actual 7 and then interviewing Jason Absolute about it. I don't know if he'd be down with it, but has it been long enough that you guys are all comfortable talking about it?
Well, firstly, JF, for those historians out there, it's the Flapjack TEN.
Oh, was it? Shit, I don't know if I have enough room in this camera for 10 people. Anyways.
No, some of them have been...
There's a list.
Yeah, there was a list banned there was the list of all the comics banned in the Absolute box office, which when we got a hold of, we thought was honestly the coolest thing. That old thing, like I have, that
was before my time, and I just find it so fascinating. I kind of want to do like a little historical piece about Ottawa
and I'm all about it. And I think at least it's become the 7 for a reason. Like, kind of a few non-committed comedians, and then one of them did some shady shit.
See, I want to get that story. Like, where are they now? The Flapjacks.
The guy that did the relatively shady shit. That is. Please.
Yes, please. Oh my God. If you're offering.
Thanks a lot. No problem.
It's on Andrew. Boom. Thank you, sir.
I'll drink to that. Yeah, I do, but.
Okay.
I did that part. I know. I'm sorry.
I don't want to edit shit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'll edit.
When you say Flapjack TEN, because it's definitely on my mind.
Wait. I can't talk about the Flapjack.
No. I'm sorry. You can't. It's just I don't want to. Should have told you even. Wow. Turned up.
Oh shit.
It's the inside scoop.
I know. The vault is open.
But yeah. Let's talk about the Flapjack TEN without me talking about him, because I could talk about him for another half hour.
There are other people,
man, and so I don't necessarily have regrets with like getting banned from Absolute or anything, because, and this is the few times I've done comedy podcasts and talked about like the best advice, and it's the best thing I've ever did was making friends in comedy, and I made these friends in comedy, and at the time especially, I thought Araya, Sean, Carson, Laura, Ben, and then it was like Christian and Tash, but specifically like Laura and Ben were the funniest comedians I'd ever seen in real life.
Yeah.
And it was like, so I was just starting a monthly show. That's all it was. I was starting a monthly show at Flapjacks. Somebody was just like, yeah, my buddy wants to start a show.
Oh, it was you?
I started the show.
Wow.
That's honestly the only reason I'm involved. If I were on the other side of the fence, like if I were one of my friends, like I wouldn't have gone through with it, because we did one show, sold out show, paid every comic like $50, which you could imagine getting that.
Still, it's unheard of now.
$50 for 6 minutes. It was like a 30-person crowd, because it was pay what you can or $5, and a lot of people were just really into the show, and like some people gave me $40.
Wow.
So I literally paid every comic a lot of money. I took home a lot of money, and I paid the guy that drove me there and back. Which, as a man that's driven me home, I don't do that.
You tried to pay me in Skittles once. But
honestly.
What do you think? I look like somebody who's drinking lean or something?
You got kids, baby. Think of the children.
Yeah, fair.
But so it was an awesome time, and I guess, and I wasn't trying to hide. The problem was Flapjacks is a stone's throw away from Absolute comedy.
Yeah, I think that was the issue.
100%. Because I wasn't the first person to start a show at a venue, but it was too close for them. And honestly, when I agreed to start the show, I had no idea it was near Absolute, but also I had no idea of, I hadn't even heard people speak of the owner of Absolute Comedy, so I didn't know I know it was something a person would think of, because to this day, I'm almost a little perplexed as to what the big deal is, but I think the long and the short of it is it's kind of competition, and if people go to Flapjacks expecting comedy, they might not like it as much as they go to Absolute. Like, I think I get it in the end, but I only stuck it through because the gang wanted to do it, and I felt like I was making friends in comedy, and I'd been very bad, and I think what stopped me from getting better is I had no friends, so I hated going out. It was all lonely, and I would just eat so much shit.
Right.
Then I made friends, and from there, I think they've said it, like the comedians, like that inspired Sean to start the Wellington Eatery, or Araya started Swizzles. Like, it started shows that are happening in Ottawa today.
That's what I want to do a documentary about it, because then you could go to the actual rooms that spurred out of this movement. I feel like that is what made Ottawa Comedy Now that event. To a certain extent.
Yeah, I think to a certain extent. And I actually have thoughts as to whether or not it's all that good.
Well, you know.
I take it back. I think it's all good. I just know I get caught up in it thinking like I get a lot of like stage time at these rooms, and it's not from it's just from being around for so long, and I just think like I think some people have the same idea that I carry around, where this is like you start to feel like you're not king shit, but you feel good about yourself killing in the Wellington Eatery, then Swizzles, and this. Then you go to Absolute and you bomb, but you have that wherewithal now to tell yourself, well, these guys thought it was funny, and I just don't think that's all that good, because the Wellington Eatery, they're never going to pay you that much.
No, and I guess that's the difference between like alt rooms and like basically club.
Yeah, I think the expectations are different, and I find I could really kill at I don't like saying I can really kill. I'm just really opening my belly up there.
Yeah. You're gonna bomb first time we get back on stage.
Yeah,
we're all gonna bomb. So
yeah, for sure. I just mean I could do very well in a room like the Wellington Eatery or Swizzles on a bad night, like for them, like where the crowd's not laughing. I could be the funniest guy of the night in a way that would never work at Absolute, because as people have told me, I kind of fail upwards on stage. The more I bomb, the better it gets. And I've felt it hinder. Like, I've done Absolute Comedy where they're laughing at my material, like, more than, like, I'm just doing the best you've ever seen me do, okay?
Yeah.
And it throws me off that people keep laughing. I just had this one set where I got some shit afterwards from the guy working there, where he was just like, you just kept telling people to stop laughing. Like, what were you doing? I was like, well, I couldn't focus on my jokes. I forgot what I was going to say.
Not used to this.
I'm not used to it.
But you've been killing it. Last year, the Yucks competition, for example, you did very well in the club setting.
Yeah, and so me thinking that comedians won't be shit forever, JF. I almost have to think it, just because I've gone from, not that I'm not shit, like I did an opener at the Yucks, like a Saturday opener, and more like half of my set was shit. But I think like you get better, and I just feel really bad when people like quit comedy, or people like get disheartened from bombing so much.
Yeah.
It's funny for me to say nobody's more emotional than I am when I do bomb. I think
How long does it take you to get over it? Because for me, it's been shorter and shorter every time. It used to be like weeks. Now it's like by the end of the night, like 5 minutes later, I'm like, whatever, fuck it.
You know what I find hurts for me, which will hurt for you once you start doing well, is say the first 4 or 5 years, I could bomb and borderline not know. That was the great thing about me, is
you didn't realize, because you've never done well before.
I've
nothing to compare.
Never did well.
Yeah.
Never. And the thing, like, my friends, that's the thing with the Flapjack TEN, is I found I'll say it.
It's on the record.
It's on the record.
It's staying on.
Because I've heard people very condescendingly refer to open mics. People that don't really go to the shows that we have gone to say that. So what you open micers do is you bomb at open mics, you go off stage and you pat each other on the back and you tell each other you all did well, which I found that not to be the case. Especially if you're a friend of mine. Like, I'm not even a friend of mine. The first time I met Dylan Parker or Wardy, I came up to them drunk after seeing them for the first time and said, here's what you gotta do, different kids. Talking to a 60-year-old man trying to give him advice.
Here's the joke with your prostate exam. This is how it's...
Here's the thing. Nobody knows what prostate means, Wardy. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I've lost... Okay. so I've heard people say that, and it grinds my gears because I really find open mics aren't as supportive as you think, as people think that don't go. But my friends at the time, I think they were like too supportive. Like I was very bad,
And they were.
I was very bad, and I just didn't know. I had a full fucking point, man. I don't know. Who cares?
Who cares, man?
I don't
It's
care.
life. Who cares anymore? Are we ever gonna do comedy again? Who cares? This might be it. Sorry, this is your goodbye speech.
I'd
What do you
like
want
to
say
thank.
to the people?
I'd like to thank.
Is Laffy on the cafe?
Lafayette, they canceled us before.
Oh, no.
No, they said you'll give you one more show, and that was the Saturday. Let's say everything shut down on a Monday. It was going to be that Saturday, I think.
Yeah, it was like the 15th
It was
or
very
something.
close. And what's cool is we didn't know it was going to be our last show when we booked it, so the show wasn't as good as we wanted it to be. But we were just like, we're not going to dishonor these people.
Yeah.
One of them's quit comedy and unfriended most of the comedians.
Huh.
And the other, I think he is gone. Like I think he's in BC or some shit.
Well, he's just tree planting. For the summer. That's his.
But I was
that's his
actually
gig.
excited. I asked Kia myself. He didn't ask me. I thought. I think he is interested. He has been around a long time.
Yeah.
You're like friends with him, yeah?
Yeah. Well, we used to co-host the
Yeah.
pop-up stand-up last year, so.
I knew him before he had the dreads.
Oh yeah.
I think he must have been so young because he's really young, right?
He's still young. Yeah.
Because he must have been like 18 or 17, and he was doing Pub 101. What do you think? So how old were you when you started comedy?
That was 2 years ago.
39?
35. I guess 30. Yeah, 35.
What do you think about starting comedy like that at that age as opposed to like a lot younger, like 19, 20?
Well, I guess the thing is for me, comedy isn't my identity. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I've done so many other things. I'm so many. I wear so many different hats. Whereas I think if you start in your 20s, you're like, oh, I identify. I'm a comic. That's like the first thing you say. Like you introduce yourself. Like I don't know if you introduce yourself as a comic, but like what do you do? If somebody asks you like, what do you do?
I'd normally say like the job I have at the time.
Right.
I think it's really douchey to say a comedian when it's like
When it doesn't pay the bills.
Because people
obviously.
ask what you do, they mean what do you do to pay
What
the
do you-
bills.
Yeah.
But I think you're a good. I was literally thinking this was the only pre thought I had to doing this was I thought like if it would come up like I started
you
comedy
did
too
more
young.
research than I did for this
yeah.
podcast. Thank you very much. And you really, you're taking the reins.
Thank you. I'm Adam Wambolt. I started at 19, like a fresh 19.
Wow.
And I think I don't want to say it's like too young because people have been fine.
That's all of your adult life, basically.
That's yeah, and because you're exactly right. It's my identity to. Like last night, my girlfriend and I got into a fight, not over something I said, over she couldn't tell by like after trying so hard, she just couldn't tell if I was being serious or not. And low key it was intentional. Like I wasn't trying to start a fight, but I just thought it was really funny. Like she didn't know what I was saying, and I was trying my hardest to really sell what I was saying, but knowing she didn't believe what I was saying.
Oh God.
Sorry, Emily.
I would like to have her on the podcast. Get her side of the story.
She's not interested. I love her. She's antisocial.
All right.
But I think of Caesar McCool all the time. He started comedy, I think, at exactly, well, when I met him, like I was 26. I think he started when he was 26 or 25.
Yeah.
But I think that's perfect because there's like a whole like a brain thing, and he's
I love Caesar.
Relatively-
I want Caesar. If you're watching, I want you on my podcast. We can go for smokes instead of drinks if you want.
yeah, he's halal. Dude, I did that roast with him at Power Boy. All of my jokes were just calling him like a fat Muslim. And it felt so bad because it's hack, it's rude, it's not. Neither of them are true. I don't think of Caesar as really fat even, but he's certainly not Muslim. And it worked. I beat him.
That's true. I think at that roast he was like, "I'm not even Muslim."
I thought it was so
I'm
funny.
Lebanese, but I'm not Muslim. Yeah, I was like, fucking,
Yeah.
yeah. That was a good roast. I think I remember that one. Was that the one where Trevor just
Hate shit, man. Trevor sucked.
Mitch had so many, Mitch had a joke about like, hey, oh, Trevor left me hanging, just like a.
Yeah, I talked to Trevor about it because
I know. That's why I bring it up.
a friend of mine was concerned. He was upset with the.
Oh no, he could take it. I think he was just being mad that he hadn't prepared any material, and he was
I think you get really calloused as a comedian.
Man.
He's
Honestly,
so good.
I've been to shows with some friends of mine, and I said I've honestly said oh, this is one of the best comedians in the city right now. When Trevor goes on,
he stands out. I think when he's on, sometimes I don't know if it's when he's doing new material or maybe he drank too much, but he'll have his nights where it's just really not clicking, he's not on.
Oh yeah, I've been to for sure.
I'm allowed to say that due to somebody that's always killing. But yeah, he's always he always stands out when he's good. He's oh, he did the show a favor. I had somebody did that about some fucked comedian. I forget who it was, but I booked I think one of those shows I did at Asian Alley back in the day. Somebody thought, you ever hear that place?
No.
I think actually they went out of business.
Okay. Was it called Asian Alley, really?
Yeah.
Don't remember that place at all.
It was right beside Zach's Diner in the market.
Okay.
Did a monthly show there as I ran the show at the Royal Oak. You want to talk about mental health or comedy or?
I think we're probably we're almost good. I think.
Okay.
We don't want to end on a low note.
My mom's dead.
I didn't bring it up.
Yeah. She didn't bring me up. Nobody did.
Oh God.
Mom, if you're watching this.
Just end on a moment of silence and we'll just sort of slowly fade out.
No, I've got a good buzz going. Let's talk one more thing about comedy. Okay. Talk one more thing about comedy.
One more thing about comedy.
You're gonna have to edit the hell out of this.
So actually, okay, let's end a little bit of mental health and comedy because for you, is comedy? Have you seen an impact of having no comedy in your life on your mental health, or do you feel like it's therapeutic for you? Is it good, or did you feel like this break was good for you or bad for you?
I think it's really shitty to say the break was good for you when you think of literally how many people died and shit, and how many people's lives are for sure way worse.
Yeah.
But for me, I was unemployed when it happened. I had gotten fired the month before. I live rent-free at my dad's house.
Apply for CERB?
Yeah.
Fuck. So you're making more money now than you were.
I'm making more money than I was before. I have no expenses. It's been good. It's honestly it's a little stressful.
I'm working my basketball skills.
Yeah, I can't really I can't complain. No, I think I don't think I definitely miss comedy, but I think my comedy is going to be better because I was definitely in a real comedic rut where I think I take the competitions too seriously. It's the losing mentality is comedy competitions don't matter. But then the same guy applies for them every year, which is me, until I advance.
Well, we all do.
I advance the first round, and you can't say anything to me for the next 2 weeks. So I think I was thinking about that too much. I was thinking of...
I ate shit in my first comedy competition last year at Absolute, and it was the first time I didn't do well at Absolute, and it was in front of Jason, it was in front of all, I was like, fuck. And I was trying new jokes, brand new jokes.
Why?
I didn't know what a comedy competition was. I was just like, it's stage time. I just wrote these jokes, I'm gonna try them, blah, blah. And I was fucking, did not go well.
No.
But it still felt like I put some of the clips in the video that I posted on the thing today, because it's if half of 100 people are laughing, it still feels like people are laughing.
Yeah, it still feels good.
But it was very polarizing stuff. So anyways, I didn't think of it maybe I should do this polished stuff or this club safe bits. I was just we're just gonna treat it as any other open mic basically.
Why? But you must have wanted to advance.
For me, it's just stage time. I don't really care that much. Yeah. But then you would get more stage time if you advance. That's
the thing.
I just wasn't smart about it, to be honest.
Did you apply for the competition this year, the Yucks one?
Isn't canceled?
Girl, no.
What?
Dude, there's a week limit to apply, a week long. You need to look into it
now?
Yes.
Okay, I will.
Before we separate, I'll set you up. But it may have passed. It was he was very clear on the timeline.
Right. I think I remember seeing an email about that or a message.
But no, I think I've written more material than I would have before. I've probably averaged, no, I've 100% averaged 2 beers a day, which I think does equal less than what I've been drinking. Because when I go out, I go out. I've saved money. There's been very few cons. I was hoping to move out during the summer, move on my own.
Yeah.
And instead of seeing my girlfriend once a month, I saw her for the first time in 4 months the other.
Oh yeah.
So that's been rough. Just my relationship with her. But
yeah. She's in your bubble. Your top 10.
Yeah. I'd say.
I guess I made it now, so I'm here.
The only is this bubble?
No, I think we're fine.
Is it bubble if it's like within like closer than 6 feet?
We're outside. I think we're fine.
That's the thing is I haven't really missed my friends because I FaceTime a lot. I think I've actually developed stronger friendships with more comedians than I have otherwise. Like,
well, yeah, I mean, you put on a show or a podcast, and you've
not
done
even
other
that,
things.
man. Like I randomly I've been on an hour-long FaceTime chat with Abdullah, with Tash. You'll notice they both came up in my 3 hottest.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Is it a coincidence? No, it was I fucking you guys.
Jeremy Hotz is another hot comedian.
Dude, he looked rough. He looked miserable.
Well, that's his thing, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That was my joke.
I love him, yeah.
He's funny.
He's so fucking hilarious. He's actually one of my dad's favorite comics, and I saw him at Yucks, and I bought a DVD for him. That was filmed
Centerpoint
here.
Theater.
Yeah, right here. Centerpoint Theater, where Bert Kreischer did a show. I went there, and then he came over right here, took off his shirt, and had drinks with his fans.
Hey, last time I saw Mike McDonald, right here.
There you go.
R.I.P.
Hey.
I mean that. R.I.P.
Yeah, that's true.
How's your mental health been without the comedy? Because you have like a family. You got all the hats. You got your job, your kids, your...
Honestly, this whole thing is just me having an excuse to get out of the house and have a drink on a patio. Because otherwise, I just wouldn't do it. I would be stuck at home with kids.
You fucking hate your kids, man? Like what? Did they do improv or something?
You know, I could snap your back right now.
Honestly, it'd be so easy for you. That's
so
the
easy.
thing.
That's why I remind them every night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be a crazy bedtime story.
Yeah.
Daddy's gonna snap your back tonight. Edit that out. That was the creepiest thing I've ever said. That's actually how I sex talk with my girlfriend.
Could put you in a back brace tonight, baby.
I would never talk during intimacy.
We don't communicate that well. All right. Well, at least I think we ended on a high note. So thank you so much, Andrew. Is there anything you want to plug? Any shows you have stuff coming up?
Support live comedy when you can, including Yucks and Absolute. I love Absolute. I support Absolute. If you can, depending when this goes out, their patio's open during these times, during the weekend.
Are you going tomorrow?
I'm going to try to. I think so. I'm going to see if I can get a little crew.
Cool.
Come through if this is up by tonight.
Probably not.
But also support the other little weird comedy shows at cafes and bars, because I can almost guarantee that they don't want comedy. So if they're willing to put on comedy, please make sure it's not a regret of theirs. The end.
Well said. Thanks so much. I don't have anything else.
I'll drink to that.
Hey, cheers, man. Bye, everyone.